the point is that they are using investor money
Yes.
to pay people.
Yes.
And
No, for sure. Without question, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say that they don't offer those benefits to a lot of other states. Really, the Bay Area gets like the best benefits or the best promotional opportunities. And wow, that what is going on here?
that is getting fucked up.
Okay, so I guess PB's just not sticking around. He doesn't even want to go Marth, or maybe he just feels like he can go Fox anyway and win. I feel like he just doesn't want to have to try that.
Well, I mean, this is also like a way better matchup for Fox. Than,
that's
than
what
Marth.
I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Now, PewPewU Fox has been a thing for a while.
Yeah, Pew Fox, very good. But anyways, yeah, so they're paying people with investor money right now, which is why they're paying me more, but there's no reason for me not to take it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
I understand that as a person who needs to make money. However, the greater point is that once Uber achieves a monopoly,
Yes, which is what they're going for sure.
they will not be paying you people well anymore.
Well, so as long as Lyft is like a competitor, there's some kind of competitor. The barrier.
But the
okay.
point is that the industry as a whole is just not sustainable. It's not anything particular about what Uber is doing. Just economies of scale are just that industry does not operate at scale the way that Uber and Lyft would like you to think that it does.
Okay, so all I'm going to say is I feel that they're trying to set themselves up for like autonomous vehicles.
Right.
I mean, so if they do achieve the monopoly, you know, which is totally possible. Now, I do feel that the barrier of entry into that market is actually very easy. It's very low. You can very easily make the app. Lyft incurs pretty much no overhead. So as long as Lyft is kind of around, it kind of forces Uber to keep their rates like a bit better. You
Yeah,
know?
but the point is that
But I do agree that paying people private investors money does not really help them be a sustainable company. But I will say also
first of all, the greater point is that I think it's pretty scummy for you just to be able to take the market by force of investor money. Because, and I just really doubt that what in the end that they're doing is really ultimately that innovative and will lead to like a better economy of vehicle service. So what you should read is there's a 5-part exploration of this on this website called Naked Capitalism, where they show, like, based on Uber's finances, that they're losing money a lot, and they're going to continue to lose money until they have a monopoly, at which point they will start to pay people less, because that's the only way that their business can be sustained.
But I feel like they're not losing money in states like Washington. They're not losing money in a lot of states because they don't offer the same like benefit packages. Like so they have like sort of rewards programs for depending on the state you're in. California actually reaps a lot of the benefits. California drivers, but like drivers in like Washington, like Seattle. Uber gets a flat cut of like 25%, and then that's it. They don't pay them anything extra. So I feel like for sure in the Bay Area, I don't think they're making any money. But I also feel like they're trying to generate private interest. Oh shit! That was really good, and that was also a really good up B from Spark. Like he does a very slight angle that allows him to go up and grab it after being turned around. Very, very good. But yeah, I feel like they're definitely making money in different parts. But but at that point, when they're making money, it's not sustainable for the driver. You know,
right?
That's the bottom line.
That's true.
It's like it's sustainable,
especially with the vehicle costs that you guys, vehicles that owners will incur.
Yeah, granted, it's 100% deductible in California on pretty much everything, be it the phone bill.
But then that's just then Uber's being subsidized by taxpayers.
I guess.
Ultimately,
I would say. I'm not talking shit about your decision to drive for Uber. Oh yeah.
Like, you got to do what you got to do. And like,
I mean, it's kind of like part-time, kind of there until I get my CPA. So it's a very flexible gig.
I don't blame anybody who drives for them. Like, if it's good money, you have to take it. I mean, that's the world we live in. So just if it makes you money, then you should do it. It's more about the overall business practices of Uber, and this is beyond just the PR shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the PR, they're not doing a great job with their PR right now. Lyft for sure, I feel like is doing a better job, but I also feel like Lyft isn't under the same microscope. You know, like it's not.
That's true.
The field of vision really isn't on Lyft. It's too small to be really tinkered with or tampered with, and there's no reason to pick on the little guy. You know, at least that's how I see it right now.
To some extent, that's true. I don't really know. I mean. The point of the series of articles that I read, which was very convincing, was less about how bad Uber is, like internally and blah blah blah. It's also to show that they're not really like going to save money overall, like over traditional taxi companies. Like all they're really providing is an app that anybody could write, like as you already said.
Yeah, they literally incur extremely little overhead, which is why I'm like, well, if they have so many private investors, I have a hard time thinking like that they're really just gonna like collapse on themselves.
No, they're not gonna collapse. No. Their goal is to Uber's not gonna run Lyft out of the market. No, their goal is to run traditional taxis out of the market.
And I think that's a good thing. In my opinion.
I don't think so.
No, why?
No, because they're not improving on them at all. They've just developed an app. They haven't really innovated on the actual service itself. And this ride-sharing thing actually doesn't make the economy of like transportation more efficient.
Okay, so I mean, Uber's cheaper. Right,
because it's being subsidized by investors. If that wasn't there, it would not be cheaper.
Okay, well, okay, I can agree to an extent, but I mean, how much more do you think they'd be charging?
So the articles had some numbers about like basically what percent of Uber services being subsidized by investors, and it was something like 40% of the costs are actually made up by investors.
Man, gosh, I'm just trying to understand like why. I have to think about this a little bit more, but basically, I mean, they're still taking a 25% cut. They have the app. I mean, what is their main? I mean, besides
their goal is they want the money, and they're just going to force people out of the market by having more money.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say, like, I feel like historically though taxes have been an issue, right?
What do you mean?
They've just never mind. Okay, I understand your point. I have to think it over, but I mean, basically what you're saying is they're intentionally keeping prices low and comping drivers high. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, in order to drive out taxis. Lyft is presumably doing the same thing. They probably are.
Correct.
To a degree.
And that would not be a. Don't get it wrong, guys. That would not be a bad thing if they were innovating the industry and making just the industry overall more efficient. Like if you could make the industry more efficient, then you do what you got to do. But that's a big point of this series of articles is that they're not actually doing that. They just built an app which anybody can do, and they're just taking the money essentially by force of capital, and not really contributing ultimately.
This is why, that's why I'm saying that the barrier of entry is really low. But I mean, I feel like I also feel like, let's be real here, okay.
And this is like
the services that they're providing though is definitely much better than taxis.
Right, but taxi companies could do the same thing, but they're
not doing it.
They are. Austin is a good example of what's being done. Because Austin basically forced Uber out because they didn't want to deal with their business practices of charging less than what their expenses were and driving people out because, just because they had the force of investors.
Okay, but I mean, historically, like...
historically,
no. In SF, like for example, taxis would take...
They're innovating... Right, they're innovating in the sense that they've built an app and a way to communicate between drivers and passengers. But that doesn't mean
that
they
they've
should
done
just
a whole lot more.
Right.
I agree 100%. That's why,
So,
like I
and-
said, if taxis could create an app that makes their job like a lot more efficient, and
well,
they're
they
held-
have for a long time. Like actually,
but it's not an SF.
not an SF.
Which-
I don't know the specifics of like the taxi industry in every city. However, the point is that like the fact that it's ride sharing doesn't actually improve the overall efficiency of the whole industry.
I think it's definitely forcing taxis though to have to do some things differently. So in that end, I think it's a good thing. You know,
I mean,
kinda-
but that difference is just building an app.